Yeah, we are almost 3 minutes over the time. Maybe we should just start. We can say hello to everybody, and I'll give the word to you, Fred.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Automation Insight, unlocking value for IT resellers and MSPs. We will today take a deep dive into the possibilities what automation can lead to using integrations. This is the first topic we are doing in 2 webinars, and we will come back to the other webinar later. Yes, let's start by presenting myself. My name is Fred Haberstad. I'm the head of sales and marketing for Savit. And with me today, I have a close colleague, Ole Petter Johnsen, and he will be later talking about automation and with integration. He works close with different IT resellers and MSPs today, all over Europe. So I know he is looking forward to sharing some of his insight with you today. But before I put hands over to Ole Petter, I would like to say some few words about Savit and what we do. First of all, our mission, so everyone knows that, is to make IT resellers and MSPs stronger. We are a software vendor building a system for IT resellers and MSPs. This is a SaaS multi-tenant white label platform with an open API. Let's connect all the dots to make it easy to build, sell, and manage IT services. So we are also built in a marketplace into the platform with fully managed services that actually can be white label and are ready to be sold right away with good margins. And this starting will eliminate everything from large. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I have to share my screen here, so you all see the same things. Okay. Okay. Now I hope everyone see. As I said, let me talk a little about Savit. As I said, we have a a software platform that are building for IT resellers. We have built in a marketplace into the platform with a fully managed services that you can white label and are ready to sell services right away with good margins. Starting this will eliminate the needs for large investment for IT resellers and of course significantly reduce spend time on all these tasks, which is combined with building services. Lastly, the biggest advantage with our platform and with you and all your customers is the knowledge about your customers, and you'll be with you to build a customer portal in our platform that it's self-service functionality. This will give all your customers able to access the service catalog. They will access tenders, orders, invoices, and documentation, and all other files related to your customers and how that works. As I said, build, sell, and manage. We will be able to build services from ground up, or we are able to select our pre-built templates in our marketplace. Savit gives you a modern way to sell by enabling the buy button directly from the web page instead of the traditional way, contact us, which the most IT resellers and MSPs have today. And here we can sell services, products from the service catalog or the customer portal or embedded on the web. And the last way of selling is, of course, the traditional way of registering everything in quick and fast and easy in the platform. So we have a model for that as well. Lastly, is it to make it easier to manage everything on our risk-based management. We have a risk-based management in the platform that will instruct, we have kind of instructed the system to tell us what's critical and what's not with a score system in the platform. This is for services and other business tasks. So you can also see it for services, but also for business tasks. You'll be able to make important decisions regarding findings and risk through the entire platform. I have some numbers from our research. As you can see, it's some numbers here, but maybe we should focus on a couple of those. For example, that 94% of B2B buyers research online prior to making purchase decisions. That you probably knew already, but that is important. The other thing is that, for example, 71% of business-to-business buyers prefer not to interact with a salesperson. And that's very interesting as well. And then when you know that business implementing e-commerce, they will grow 5 times faster with revenue. So this is quite important. But I know as a IT reseller and MSP, it's a lot of challenges out there. And we will try today to cover some of those. We are trying to simplify things in a single platform that enables you to be more available. It will be less complex and less expensive. So now I will set over to Ole Petter, and he can show you a little more how that works.
Hey guys, so let me just fix my screen here. Yes, so when we're coming into the topic of automatizations and integrations, the thing we want to ensure is that you are able to deliver a consistent service that's the same every time, it's the same flavor, it's the same configuration, and it's automated through the entire process. Because this is helping us to eliminate human errors and failed manual tasks during the way. So it's all about to get the speed and get the service out there, let the customers buy it, manage it, and also do the reports and insights into those services. And nothing of this can be done without automatizations and integrations. In this page, it might look a bit busy. This is kind of the usual way a sales cycle for a service is done. It's all starts with a customer have decided that I want to buy this service, so it places an order. And that, of course, brings some information into typically the technicians at the company. But those technicians might have additional questions, so they need to go back to the customer, and already there, you're starting to have the first problem. Basically, the communication between customers and the tech department, usually with the sales department in between of that, trying to translate and transform all the information so the parameters for the service is correct. Of course, when you have that information, you need to start to deploy the service. And you're deploying that with an initial configuration based on the specs and the information you got from the customer, based on the specs and best practices and routines you have for that service. But I think we all know when it comes to manual task routines and so on, it's human nature to say that something is not working like intended, or I don't get this to work. What do? You go around it. You find a way to fix it, to deliver the service so the customer is happy. But this opens up a wormhole of vulnerabilities, errors, and so on. And you might not see that the first day, the second day, the first year. But at some point in time, you will come up on issues in that service that since you broke the routines and so on, stuff didn't work during the deployment, so we had to take measures to go around it. It will come back to you later on and cause issues. So it's extremely important to automate and integrate into different products, into the sales process of collecting the information, speccing the service, and so on. And also to be able to deliver reports on it. If we look a bit into how we do this within the Savit platform, of course, we have the customer portal where the customer can do their self-service. Through this self-service, they can select from the services you have selected they are able to buy. And when they're actually buying a service from you, they get instruction to provide all the information that's necessary for the tech department to deliver this service, or in this case, to automate that service. So it starts with the customer buying the service, the automation kicks in. This could be everything from deploying virtual environments, buying licenses, setting up 365 tenants, basically whatever kind of service you can think about can be automated. And the customer does this themselves. You don't need to kind of sit down with them, do a big complex installation. Since it's automated through the integrations into the backlying applications or APIs, it's all done through the self-service portal by the customer. They configure the service, and the service goes then straight into production, because here we have the routines that you can't go away from. The best practices are followed all the way, and the routines as well. And when the service is running, of course, we do findings and risk. Fred talked about this a bit. A finding could, for example, be that a backup didn't work, it failed, the backup job failed. It's not perhaps critical if it fails once, but if it fails 3 times in a row or 3 times during the week, it might be more critical to fix that. And then those findings get assigned to the correct persons to look into this, and you can create support tickets of it. Of course, the other thing that's important is that the customer should be able to change their service. Let's say they want to add additional users or additional machines to backup or whatever the service is. That needs to be taken into consideration. The automation kicks in again, it deploys it, adds that change to the service, but then also do the consumption for the billing part of the service. And everything is then reported, presented back to the end customer through the self-service portal, but as well for you as the service provider. So you have insights as well into how is the service running for the customer? Is the customer satisfied? Do we need to do any change there? And is it any upsell opportunities since the customer is using this service? And if we look into a kind of example how the workflow would be, of course, with an Office 365 backup, that's one of the easiest thing to automate. Usually, customers do a Google search. They will find thousands of service providers providing backup as a service of M365. But it's always that contact us. They need to talk to a salesperson. And back to Fred's research, over 70% don't want to talk to a salesperson. They want to buy it themselves, just click on a box, just like they buy other services for personal use or other products for personal use online. So the customer lands in your page. They can actually buy that backup service through the integration. We are integrated into their Microsoft tenant, the backup application, then automatically set up the backup jobs, the backup starts. And the customer can then, of course, add more backup targets, add more licenses. They can go in doing their restores. They can get consumption reporting and all the billing throughout the platform. So this is an example of how you can take a service that used to be a manual step. You have a consultant configuring it. Maybe a consultant uses 1 hour to do this task. This is now done in 2 minutes from the end customer. You don't need to use any resources to do this after this automatization is done throughout the platform itself. So through the integrations, we try to make it as simple as possible to eliminate those human errors that often come during manual configurations, but also empower the end customer and the service provider to be able to get those services out and up and running as quick as possible throughout the entire platform. So takeaways from this. Automation, that's really allows you to have that buy now instead of the contact us button. But it also streamlines and avoids human errors throughout the process of the deployment and the lifespan of that service. It provides reports, service management, consumption, and billing through the customer portal. And of course, this gives you a really strong grip on the customer when you're adding multiple services to a customer through multiple automatizations and integration throughout the entire system. And Fred, you might also have some other views on this. Do you have anything to add in terms of this?
Yes, Ole Petter, thanks. When we are going through this, the key takeaways here, I will open up for everyone to join as well to ask questions now. We have a Q&A session here now. This is, as I said, about automation and integration. So this is probably things that you all have maybe some experience with, and maybe you have some questions around it, how we solve it or how we do things. So fire away in the chat if you have some questions.
I actually have a question for you, Fred. Kind of from your view, what in terms of licensing, let's say you want to buy some licensing for some software out there, let's say Adobe or 365 licenses or whatever, can that be automated in a way as well?
Yes, Ole, that's true. What we see already with a lot of IT resellers is that almost everyone has a pain with, for example, if you just want to add one user or just want to delete a user when someone leaves, for example. Or if you go through the process there, how that works. First of all, in a traditional way, they send you an email or they call into you, and then you typically have to make an order in some order system, maybe look up in the CRM system. You maybe have to log into some distributor or a portal from a distributor, and then of course you have to make the order, and then you have to agree with the prices with the customers, and all of this process actually eat up all your margin of selling that license. So the one thing is that if you sell one license more, the whole margin is already gone because you use too much time on it. So with our system, our platform, we can automate that as well and give the end user the ability to actually to do self-service and do one less or buy one license, and you can automate everything like Ole Petter was showing.
Perfect. Yeah.
So in the sense of money and time, this is something we see that everyone has, and we can help them with that.
Yeah. And usually to add on that, with any kind of service, I work for service providers earlier as well, and a huge part of that is the reporting part, right? Telling the customer the status, how is it going, is everything working as intended? Through the platform here, you get those reports native in. The customer can just log in, have a full-on overview, do changes themselves, and so on, and that's automated throughout the process as well.
Mm.
We got a question from Lee.
Yeah.
When do you envisage that your platform will go live?
So the platform is already live. We have live customers on it already and adding more day by day, I would say. So it's absolutely out there. It's ready. You're more than welcome to contact us if you want a demo of the platform, look deeper into it, see if it's something that can fit you. Any other questions? No, then we can probably do that. Want to add something here, Fred?
Yeah, of course. This is the first webinar of two, so the next one will be the 30th of November this year. So I hope that everyone who is interested in this automation and integration thing, that they can come here and see how we have done this with Veeam, which I know a lot of IT resellers out there, how we can actually build things for them so customers can buy and automate the whole process. So
We will actually show you how to build a service from ground up, integrate it into the Beam, deploy it, and what is it actually as for the customer as well through the self-service. How can they deploy the service? How can they get to use Beam from a service provider, for example? So it will be really cool to see.
Yeah, I see we get a question more here about from Andrew about Sadara. Yes, we are working with different vendors on storage and backup and other things. So Sadara is one of the key things we will come with later or early next year. I think it's planned for Sadara to come into the platform, and we can do that as well. Yeah.
But we also have the opportunity to in the platform we can automate everything, regardless if it's a deep dive integration. We of course we that's the easiest way to automate stuff, but we also have automation functionality that based on an event, for example, an order is placed in the platform, we can basically do an API call to any external system that has an API, share information or send information from the platform to that and create resources. So that could be everything from deploying a VM, creating a S3 storage bucket with Sadara. It could be creating a record in some kind of other management system or application or whatever. We can do automatization like that natively throughout the platform as well.
That'd be great. I think we could end it there. I will say thank you for everyone who have been following us, and I hope to see you again in the 30th of November. Or contact us whenever you want, if you want a demo or something like that. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.